A 9-game losing streak to ranked teams last Saturday night with a 23-point win down the street at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. And here on Hall of Fame weekend in Midtown Atlanta, the Jackets have returned, and since, Roddy, that they have a place in the Coastal Division with a win today. Jalen Barden is deep, and away we go from Atlanta. And there'll be no return. And the Panthers with the ball from their 25 and the 41st career start of Oakhurst, New Jersey's Kenny Pickett is awaiting, Roddy.
Well, it's been told a couple of times, Kenny Pickett, a guy who had an invite to the Senior Bowl waiting for him, and after this is his 41st start, 44th career game at Pitt, second all-time in career passing yards, 15 touchdown passes. And Pat Narduzzi, we had the conversation with him before the season started. Why does Kenny Pickett get more respect? Well, putting the ball in the end zone is a big part of that.
And here goes Vincent Davis, almost like he never left the place. A year ago on a Thursday night in December, he went for 247 yards against the Jackets. And that time he picks up almost 7.5 on first down before Charlie Thomas makes the tackle. Here's second and short. Pickett's first throw and Addison's first catch. He'll be turned back, but not before he breaks the 35, and a first down. Tobias Oliver, the converted quarterback, now playing corner very comfortably for Jeff Collins on the tackle.
He's done an excellent job of that cornerback position. We're going to see Jordan Addison moved all over the field like we just talked about. Kenny Pickett's favorite receiver. They're going to look to get him on safeties some as well, and that's going to be a tough assignment for these Georgia Tech defensive backs.
24th catch of the year for Addison. First and 10 for Pittsburgh. Pickett underneath. Bartholomew, the tight end, to midfield and into Georgia Tech territory before he's knocked out by Wanye Thomas. 16-yard throw. Pickett an early 2 for 2.
If you watch Kenny Pickett a week ago against New Hampshire, he looked like he was throwing on air. And you could say what you want about it being New Hampshire, but that's a top 25 defense at the FCS level, top 25 team at the FCS level. Kenny Pickett is playing with unreal confidence right now.
That's Lucas Kroll, the tight end, in motion. First and 10 in Georgia Tech territory for Pickett. Helmet has come off. Pickett going to roll to his left, and now we'll just throw it away before the Jackets can collapse. It was Charlie Thomas who's made a bunch of plays, as Roddy said at the top. And there's Mark Whipple, the veteran offensive coordinator. He and Pickett have got a great relationship, Roddy, and I think it's made a big difference in the way Pickett has started this final season with the Panthers.
Yeah, Mark Whipple is also a guy that has been at the NFL level, has been a head coach, been extremely productive as a play caller. And so that trust between coach and offensive coordinator has blossomed with Kenny Pickett, who is such an experienced and cerebral quarterback.
So here is Pickett, second and 10, and he will keep it this time right side and promptly slides, starting at the 46, so it's only a gain of 2, and Pittsburgh's first third down coming up after Quez Jackson closed the angle. Pittsburgh is at 46% on third down. They're 6th in the ACC and 34th nationally. Georgia Tech held Carolina to 6 of 14 on third down last Saturday night.
They did a really good job of mixing up their looks up front. So watch the movement up front for Georgia Tech, and if this Pitt offensive line can pick up the twists and stunts.
Pickett with 2-by-2 in the package. Here's the pressure by the Georgia Tech defense. Pickett going to try and rip it, and out of bounds. Shockey Jock Louis, the closest Panther. Lucas Kroll also coming across. But well done by the Yellow Jackets of Jeff Collins.
It's a really good job of coverage on the back end. You see Jordan Addison there in the slot. Can't find any space. That's Wesley Walker covering him. Nice job of Walker holding up. But it was great coverage across the board. Lucas Kroll blanketed. Shockey Jock Louis blanketed. And eventually the pressure was able to get there.
Azande Ray is the punt returner. Has just 3 returns. He'll signal for a fair catch on the Christodoulou punt. And, oh, boy, the Panthers looked like they had a chance to really trap Georgia Tech. It looked like A.J. Woods touched it, but he couldn't save it into play. Jackets come to the field 2-2 and level par in the ACC. But, Roddy, it's been a roller coaster.
Yeah, that Northern Illinois loss really stung, but then you go to Clemson, play so well. Clemson has a 4th and goal stand. and it's a tough loss that you can take some positives out of. But that game against UNC last week in Mercedes-Benz Stadium, does that give this Georgia Tech team, and Jeff Sims in particular, the confidence to power them forward? The defense has been excellent 2 straight games. The offense still has not found its footing consistently, but that second half in particular against UNC could really get them going.
Bunch look left, 2 wide as Sims opens up. And they're going to keep it with Sims running to the right, breaking free, 15, 20, Sims back to the 44. Right out of the gate, Damari Mathis might have saved a touchdown. 23-yard run.
I love the call by Dave Patno, the offensive coordinator. Let's get Jeff Sims some confidence early, and getting him one-on-one against Servassier Dennis, the middle linebacker, is one way to do it. Jeff Sims is a guy that needs to run the ball 10 to 15 times for Georgia Tech in this game.
Jahmyr Gibbs in the backfield. Here's a quick throw by Sims, and it's intercepted. They pick it off, and it's Cam Bright, the linebacker, that grabs the deflection for Pittsburgh.
What a momentum play. Deslin Alexander, number 5. You're going to see him on a twist, unblocked up the middle. He tips it, and then it's kind of a fight to intercept it. Cam Bright ends up coming down with it, but the shame of that is Jeff Sims had Malachi Carter open in the middle of the field. That likely would have been one of those where you hit your head on the goalpost, but it gets batted in the air, and Pitt comes away with a big turnover.
So Cam Bright, the interception, 43rd career game. First interception for Bright. Abanikanda now the running back. That's Mack in motion. Play fake, Pickett under pressure. Dumps it to Abanikanda. Got the screen and the block. And is going to pick up almost 8 full on the play before Ace Ely, the Maryland transfer, makes the play for Georgia Tech. Big number 10 has had quite a start and quite a presence in Georgia Tech's defensive revitalization, Roddy.
Yeah, he has, and he's going to need to get this defense to get Kenny Pickett on the ground. They've been around him a number of times, but no sacks yet.
Throw to the perimeter. Addison lost it. Is it ruled incomplete is the call on 2nd and short.
Let's go back to that interception. Watch at the bottom. Those 2 receivers are going to come open. You're going to get, I thought it was Malachi Carter. It was actually number 8, Nate McCollum, who's open in the middle of the field. That's where Jeff Sims is trying to go. But the ball batted in the air, and Pitt's able to come away with the interception. Good read by Jeff Sims, just not the best execution.
Mack and Addison, bottom of the screen. Jacques Louis to the wide side. Here's Pickett, straight drop. Jackets bringing pressure. Ball caught. Addison 30. First down for Pittsburgh toward the Georgia Tech 26. Roddy, Jordan Addison's just a sophomore. I mean, and he had moments a year ago, right? I mean, he wasn't as lauded freshman All-American as he was. This guy finds ways to get open for Mark Whipple and Kenny Pickett.
And do a great job of moving him around. You get sort of a natural pick. Georgia Tech thinking is going to come in. He returns back to that outside, and he's able to complete his pass.
Here is Pickett, fresh set of downs. Long throw to the far side, and the catch is made. Taysir Mack, one of those super seniors for Pat Narduzzi, making the grab. Long throw, about 9 yards.
It's a field comeback. Ball is on time and on target. Taysir Mack's got the easy job of collecting that one after running a nice route.
So now 2nd down, 3 to go. Pickett on the keeper and drives into a vice of 2 Jackets. One was Quez Jackson, the other was the linebacker Ace Ely.
It was almost like a triple option play because Kenny Pickett,
obviously
he's reading the...
Is Kenny telling Whip we're not calling that again?
Well, Kenny needs to dish that one, honestly. You don't want him lowering his head and taking hits like that. It was a little too quick to slide, but it sets up a 3rd and 2.
Abanikanda bouncing off a tackle or 2. Inside the 10, 1st and goal is the next snap for Pittsburgh. Wanye Thomas finally gets Israel Abanikanda, the sophomore from Brooklyn, to the ground.
The left side of that offensive line does a nice job of just continuing to fight, pushing at Georgia Tech defensive line off the ball. Kyle Clenard over there trying to hold the point.
Here's Abanikanda again, trying to follow his blocks inside the 5 and into the end zone for the Panther touchdown. 3rd rushing score of the year for Abanikanda.
It's a nice job of Pitt on that drive of establishing not only getting Jordan Addison involved, getting Kenny Pickett involved, but towards the end, establishing the run. We talked to him. That 3-down look that Georgia Tech has gone to means smaller bodies are on the field. You have to be able to run the football, and they thought they had an advantage with a tight end in the game being able to just pound it, and on that drive, it looked like they did.
Sam Scarton is the redshirt sophomore who handles the placements for Pittsburgh. And the kick is away, and it is good. So Isri Abanikanda, the touchdown run.
Once again, going to the left side of that offensive line. We've heard so much about the big Abanikanda. Powers the ball into the end zone for the first score of the game.
Well, you see Mark Whipple with the headset. Izzy Abanikanda behind him in the touchdown run, and that's where we find ourselves. 7-0 Pittsburgh as Ben Sauls is going to kick it away to Jahmyr Gibbs. Hangs it high, and the Jackets will let it hit, and they will scrimmage from their 25. Don't forget, we got 2 more games following ours. We'll send you to Tallahassee next. Roddy, Syracuse, Florida State, Chris Cotter, Mark Herzlich, Jalen Johnson at the Doak. And then tonight in prime time, presented by Geico, number 25 Clemson hosts Boston College for homecoming.
Woo, buddy. I don't think there's 2 home teams that need to win more in this league than those 2, man. I mean, Clemson, I mean, just the entire way the season has started.
Yeah.
If they lose, they'll be unranked, as you said, during the break for the first time in 7 years. And then Florida State, you can't start 0-5, right?
Cannot. Jahmyr Gibbs, the running back, first down carry. And the Pitt defense swarming, and diving in there was Servassier Dennis. It's a battle for Roddy Jones, folks, between Servassier Dennis and Kalijah Cansey as to who he picks out plays on tape of more.
I would say it's about equal. Servassier Dennis just has a knack of pulling the trigger, sees a gap, sees an opportunity to make a play, and is not afraid to go.
Yep. 2nd down and 9, a 1-yard gain for Gibbs. Here's Sims wanting to throw in the air and intercepted. Picked off John Petrishen, near side, touchdown for Pittsburgh. The 7th-year player Petrishen, the pick 6.
And the shame of it is, Wes, he had the throw again. He had the receiver open, a deep over route. And his arm gets hit while he's throwing the football. The pressure gets there, and Pitt creates another turnover. Haba Baldonado in the backfield. This Pitt defense has been all over it today, all over Jeff Sims. 2 turnovers lead to 2 touchdowns.
33-yard pick 6 for Petrishen, and Randy Bates' defense. The point after good, Roddy, 14-0.
All right, let's go to the all-22 again to show you that he had the throw. Look there in the slot. You get Nate McCollum again. He's going to have a deep over route against the safety, Eric Hallett. You got that throw. All he's got to do is lay it out, but the pressure gets there. Haba Baldonado hits his arm. John Petrishen's got to stroll into the end zone. Georgia Tech had exactly what it wanted, but Haba Baldonado's ability to defeat the block, get in the backfield, creates the turnover, which creates the touchdown.
2 interceptions, cashed in for 2 touchdowns. And Roddy, it's happened in less than 2 minutes, or actually less than 3 minutes of game clock here in the opening period.
Yeah, and it's worth noting that was number 60, Paula Vipolo, the freshman that was coming around trying to block Baldonado. Defeats the block with his hands, comes around, strips the ball. How good has Haba Baldonado been this year?
Absolutely.
Taking over for Rashad Weaver and Patrick Jones. His ability to fill in and create pressure, affect the quarterback, has been huge for this defense.
Here's the kick by Sauls toward Gibbs. There'll be no return, and Georgia Tech again starts at its 25. Well, you know what? A lot of enthusiasm, a lot of momentum for Jeff Collins now in his 3rd year. And now, Roddy, they trailed 7-0 last week downtown against Carolina and quickly got things situated. It coincided with Sims' return to quarterback. But now Sims starts, and you got 2 bad miscues that are cashed in.
Well, I think the thing that Dave Patino, the offensive coordinator who's down there on the sideline, has to do is look his quarterback in the eye and say, you are fine. The decisions you're making are fine. You got to help him up front, try and stem some of that pressure that Pitt's bringing. but the mentality of the quarterback has to be first and foremost.
Sims tries to get it to Gibbs, open field with a blocker, and Jahmyr Gibbs 11 to the 36 on first down. Patnode got Sims with Dante Smith and Jahmyr Gibbs, and they flank Gibbs out in space, Roddy.
Yeah, I like this. Get your playmaker the ball in space. It's 2-on-3, including the ball carrier out there, so advantage Georgia Tech. They're able to get a good delivery, one that's not going to get batted on first down.
3 receivers in the set, the 2 backs again, and here is Sims, a little swing to Gibbs again, and Jahmyr Gibbs inbounds. There's a flag thrown, and Gibbs will go to the end zone at the north end of the stadium. But it may be coming back. 64-yard play may be going by the board here. Jeff Collins not happy about the holding call against his club.
Yeah, it happens right in front of the Georgia Tech bench.
Stuart Mullins, the referee.
Foul. First down.
It's a hold on Malachi Carter, the wide receiver.
But Georgia Tech has had some good looks, and this is another one, the ability to get Jahmyr Gibbs the ball in space. It's a great play design. Watch down the field. Yeah, it's the fact that he's got his hand on the back of that jersey. You see it pulling. Yeah, it's gonna cue it every time.
Damari Mathis was the Panther being held.
Yeah, the Georgia Tech fans are booing, but that's sort of that's just what you have to do when you get a call back for a touchdown. That's a clear hold.
Yep. Dante Smith will stay in the ball game with Sims. Still a first down, though, for Georgia Tech at its 46, and a quick throw to the perimeter. That's McCollum, the freshman from McDonough, Georgia, and he took a big lick from Damari Mathis.
Have called Nate McCollum's name a couple of times. He's been open a couple of times. He's starting for the injured Kyrick McGowan, the transfer from Northwestern, who's been so good for Georgia Tech in this year, leads them in receiving yardage. He is out today, or only in emergency situations would he be available, so Nate McCollum gets the start.
They plugged Devaney, the tight end, with Smith and Carter over here to the left side, Roddy. Now kind of almost reset the package on second down and 4. And this is Dante Smith. He's a make-you-miss back in Jeff Collins' backfield. And he will have enough for the first down as he breaks the Pitt 45. Well, Georgia Tech, who's been as good in turnover margin as anybody, second in the conference, 12th nationally, +5 coming in, quickly finds himself -2 at the start of the game, and it's hurt him both times.
Well, they'd only had 1 interception on the season, and that was at Clemson. Really done a nice job of taking care of the football. Most of that had been Jordan Yates. Jeff Sims, a couple of unfortunate turnovers so far in this one.
Play fake to Smith. Sims going to lob from McCollum. Can he catch it? Yes! Touchdown!
The key against this Pitt defense, if you're going to hit those big plays, is winning one-on-one matchups. And Nate McCollum gets a one-on-one matchup against a safety, Brandon Hill. Gives him a double move, goes to the post, and then back up. And then is able to execute on the back end. A nice response from Georgia Tech. We asked what they need to do. That's just what the doctor ordered.
Sure, big momentum builder for Jeff Collins. Point after good.
The first thing they do is they protect Jeff Sims. He gets a clean pocket to be able to deliver this football. It's down the field, and then it's an excellent catch. It's tough, over the shoulder, being able to complete the catch through contact through the ground. Georgia Tech gets on the board to cut the deficit to 7.
Won at Heinz Field when they honored the 1976 Pittsburgh national champions, right? Tony Dorsett was there along with a lot of great Panthers. They remember John Majors later this year, later this month. In fact, last Saturday in October, they will have the 30-year anniversary of the 1990 national champion Georgia Tech Yellow Jacket team, a year removed because of COVID.
Yeah.
Bobby Ross, a lot of former players already in this area, and George O'Leary, the defensive coordinator on that 90 team, inducted last night in the Georgia Tech Hall of Fame. He'll be honored on the field at halftime and come back for that last weekend in October. As Barton watches the kick cross into the end zone, so Pittsburgh will start from its 25. Tell you what, you stack up the football traditions of the University of Pittsburgh and Georgia Tech of better than 125 years, boy, you'd be hard-pressed to find more pride and more success in that 125. There are some, but you're talking about great winning programs. Look here, 20 and 21 entering today all time.
I think if you'd ask most people, even around college football, if these two teams are top 25 all time, I'm not sure that it got them, but the tradition's certainly there.
Pittsburgh off its 25. Vincent Davis back to work for Pat Narduzzi's team. So we've seen Abanikanda and Vincent Davis. We expect to see Rodney Hammond, a freshman perhaps as well, here today for the Panthers offensively, who coming off a big ball game last week against New Hampshire. And there is 55-year-old Pat Narduzzi.
Pitt playing with an extra lineman in the game. The tight end to the bottom of your screen is actually a lineman as well.
Here's Pickett, quick throw to the perimeter and incomplete on a ball, I think, for Addison. And Shockey Jock Louis got unlocked by Wesley Walker, young freshman from Nashville, playing well for Jeff Collins and Andrew Thacker, the defensive coordinator, early.
Well, when you power through a block like that, Wesley Walker, that's physicality on the edge. And that's what they want the secondary to be. They've gotten bigger, longer. The physicality is certainly there.
All right, what do you want to see out of Pittsburgh here on 3rd and 8?
We got to find Jordan Addison, right? Like that's what you do. You got Lucas Kroll to the top and that inline tight end. Jordan Addison slot to the bottom.
Pickett on a straight drop. Jackets trying to get there. Pickett with time. Addison a catch at the 43. First down ahead of Wanye Thomas. That may be just how good he is, Roddy.
Well, Kenny Pickett's going there the entire time. As soon as he sees the coverage, he knows Wanye Thomas has Jordan Addison coming across the field. Addison stems, and you know where Pickett's going. The delivery is there. How about that throw right on the number?
Yep. And Jeff Collins with a timeout here. So, well, Kenny Pickett and the Panthers out of the Georgia Tech timeout will have 1st and 10 at their 43 when play resumes. And Roddy, we said it at the top. It only took 4 weeks essentially of play, but with North Carolina losing to Virginia Tech and last week to Georgia Tech, Miami, your game you saw Thursday night, you and Matt Barry, that ball game, that just kind of widens the doorway for everybody else.
Oh my goodness. Why did we think it'd be any different? But every team has dreams now of winning the Coastal, and the team that probably has the longest road is the team we thought was going to win it at the beginning.
Yep. Here's Pickett, first down out of the timeout. Krull had it and dropped it. Hit him right in the hands in front of Tariq Carpenter, the safety. Pickett is now 6 of 11 for 70 yards here in this first period.
Yeah, Lucas Krull is going to have to help his quarterback out there. The consistency from Big 7 is what they need. Kenny Pickett has an excellent read, swings it in there to him, and he knows the hit's coming. He's lucky that didn't get picked after the bobble.
Yep. 2nd down and 10. Pickett wants to throw again. Rips another one. That time catch made, and Jared Wayne the grab. Close to a Pittsburgh first down at the Georgia Tech 47. Wayne is a junior from Ontario who threw a touchdown pass at Tennessee, and last year in this ball game in December here in Atlanta had 5 catches for 60 yards against Georgia Tech, and it is a first down at the 47 for Pittsburgh.
Well, Pitt did something on that one that the North Carolina struggled with. They picked up movement inside for Georgia Tech and then a blitz on the outside. That was Vincent Davis, whose helmet came off on that play, but nice job of picking up the blitz, allowing Kenny Pickett to deliver.
Abanikanda back in the ball game. He'll get the call on first down, trying to circle to the edge, and we'll get a yard, maybe 2. Trey Swilling on the tackle. He had some help. Jordan Dominic playing one of the critical defensive end spots. And Roddy, in visiting with Andrew Thacker and Jeff Collins, those defensive ends are part of the secret sauce and why the 3-3-5's working.
Yeah, they ask those guys to do a lot. They almost are two-gapping a lot. But the thing that they really like about this 3-3-5 is it allows the defensive line to play fast.
Vincent Davis back in the game. Pickett under duress, and they're going to get him on the ground. And that was Swilling coming on the blitz. And they stayed true to their tendencies, Roddy.
Well, the right end is going to come open, but it's Trey Swilling coming from the opposite side that really makes this. Kenny Pickett gets away from the first, that's Jared Ivey, and then spins into Trey Swilling, who's coming on the corner cat blitz. It's a really nice job of getting him on the ground, and that's the big thing that they talked about with Kenny Pickett. You got to get to him, and then you got to bring him down.
Well, and you got to remember he spins, Roddy, right?
Yeah.
Swilling stayed true. Pickett now in real trouble. Bails to his left, throws, caught. Vincent Davis out of bounds at the 45.
There's that
Quez
spin.
Jackson there.
There's that spin again. Trey Swilling was able to wrangle him because he didn't see him coming, but that time Kenny Pickett knew he's getting pressure from his blind side, spins out of it, but still Georgia Tech content to keep it in front, tackle the football, force the punt.
Ray will drop back to take the punt of Kirk Christodoulou. Up the chute, end over end toward Ray. And he'll fair catch it at the 12. Crowd wanted a kick catch interference. And the Panthers forced Georgia Tech to the 13-yard line for the start, but Jeff Sims, 2 tough breaks before he cashed in, Roddy.
Yeah, that one gets batted by Deslin Alexander. Then Haba Baldonado defeats a block, goes up in the air. Both of those end up in interceptions. One ends up with a touchdown for the offense. One ends up with a touchdown for the Pitt defense, but was able to respond. This is a nice throw down the field to Nate McCollum, the diving catch into the end zone. The plan for Georgia Tech has been excellent. They've been able to get Jahmyr Gibbs the ball open in space, get some guys open down the field, and then obviously the big touchdown. Those 2 interceptions, sort of tough luck. It's good to see Jeff Sims shake it off.
Well, and you see Sims, who came in the ball game and was able to turn the course of the contest last Saturday night downtown against Carolina. Jahmyr Gibbs that time wrapped up by Servassier Dennis for no gain. But now Jeff Sims and Georgia Tech with a chance to equal the game if they can find their way to the end zone again.
Well, the thing for Jeff Sims is he kind of said, Larisha said early on too, that Jeff Sims described himself as in his own head.
Right.
It's different being the guy being brought in to be a spark. When you're the starting quarterback and you've got to weather the storm, ups or downs, it's a little bit different.
Quick throw on the perimeter. Gibbs hangs on to it and breaks away from the first tackler and then taken out of bounds by Dennis. Quite a collision with Eric Hallett, but Hallett couldn't bring him to the ground.
That's a great catch by Jahmyr Gibbs. It's a nice delivery by Jeff Sims to get this ball out and over the hand of John Morgan. But a great catch by Jahmyr Gibbs. And then, come on, bring your big boy pads. Eric Hallett.
Wow.
That's the thing about Jahmyr Gibbs. He's so explosive, but he's really built and hard to tackle.
Speaking of hard to tackle, Jordan Mason's coming to the ball game with Sims here on 3rd down.
Yeah, Georgia Tech going to have to handle the pressure from Pitt on 3rd and long.
Yep. Here's Sims looking left, going to dump it again to Mason, and the white shirts are there quickly. Wow. Take your pick. Damari Mathis was the first guy arriving. And Phil Campbell, the second, got in there too.
Well, you very quickly saw what Pitt was trying to do on that one. They show pressure, back out. You get a little twist on the inside. And then they're just content to have Jeff Sims dump the ball to the running back. And then about 5 shirts converge at the same time.
Jackets go 3 and out, by the way. And they're having a hard time getting the Jackets on the field here for the punt from Shanahan, the young Irishman.
Yeah, still has plenty. They still got plenty of time on the clock, though.
Yep. There's the punt from Shanahan. Low end over end. And coming back here to the near side, Jalen Barton, and a nice play in space.
Oh, Nate McCollum again.
Yep. Handled it well. Georgia Tech trapped Pitt on their side of the 50. Don't forget Sunday Best tomorrow. Women's soccer and volleyball coming your way on ACC Network and always streaming live on the ESPN app. Number 2, Virginia. Number 5, North Carolina on the pitch in Chapel Hill. And then at 3 o'clock, volleyball with Duke and Virginia. Sunday Best right here on ACC Network, streaming live on the ESPN app.
Some good volleyball in the conference this weekend. Here on the flats, Louisville visits. Louisville, a top 10 team. Georgia Tech, top 25 team. Yeah, it was a tough loss last night for the Lady Jackets of Georgia Tech, the volleyball team.
Pittsburgh from its 42. Pickett wants to throw, looking deep. Jordan Addison caught it. at the 15 and holds all the way through on the completion. Big throw to the Georgia Tech 11 and looped over to the top of Wesley Walker.
Well, this game is played out with slot receivers on safeties. Jordan Addison in the middle, up against Derek Allen, the Notre Dame transfer, and before Wesley Walker can recover, the ball's over the head of Walker in front of Derek Allen, and a big play for Kenny Pickett down the field.
Ball to the 11-yard line. Pittsburgh already up a touchdown. Abanacan to the running back. Jackets show pressure. Pickett back foot throw. Touchdown, Addison.
They don't have an answer, Wes. There's no answer for Jordan Addison right now. He's been outside, and Kenny Pickett's found him. He's gone deep in the slot on safeties, and Kenny Pickett's found him. That time on the nickel, Miles Brooks just breaks him off a little something. Kenny Pickett delivers. He's able to score the touchdown. Jordan Addison has been as advertised, worth the price of admission.
Yep, Jordan Addison, 5 catches, 92 yards, and now has his 9th touchdown of the year. And the point after from Scarton, boom through. But it's 2 throws to Addison, Roddy.
Yeah, let's go to the deep one first. I mean, Kenny Pickett has plenty of time. Remember, Georgia Tech 8 sacks a week ago against North Carolina. Kenny Pickett has got the time to go downfield to Addison and completes that one. And here again, a little slide to his left, helps out his protection. He's up against Miles Brooks, crosses his face, goes up, the strong hands to be able to finish the catch. How good is number 3, though? I mean, he's been a one-man wrecking crew in this first quarter. Georgia Tech is going to have to figure out a way. Bracket him, double him, something to get the ball away from number 3.
Well, and just the sophomore from Tuscarora High School in Frederick, Maryland, Jordan Addison, 6 for 179 last week. He continues to be the FBS leader in touchdowns, adding to his total. And Pittsburgh has now outscored its opponents, Roddy, 69-31
Nice.
in the first period of play this year so far. Gibbs deep for Sauls' kick. Jackets will start from the 25, Larisha.
About Jordan Addison, he said what makes him so great is that he's so detailed and his work ethic is impeccable. Those two have a connection like no other, he said, and the reason for that is because they had a great offseason together. They were able to train and prepare, and that's how they were able to build that chemistry. Wes?
I tell you what, Larisha, quietly, here comes Pittsburgh, right, Roddy?
Yeah. Look, this Pitt defense took it on the chin against Western Michigan. The Pitt offense has been fantastic all year.
Here's Sims in trouble and will not get away from the pressure. Baldonado first through. Servassier Dennis gets the sack.
The negative plays are what this Pitt defense is built on. Haba Baldonado gets out wide. It's almost like he was expecting that to the tight end side, wide side of the field. Nice job by Haba Baldonado and Servassier Dennis.
14-yard loss on the sack. P.J. Harris has come in the ball game. He had a pretty good ball game a season ago here against Pittsburgh. Had 4 catches and 50 yards for Jeff Collins. So Harris into the wide receiver group. They're going to try to hand the ball to Dante Smith. He'll pinball back here to the left, and Hallett will tackle him at the 14, 15-yard line.
Georgia Tech has done a nice job of finding the slot receivers against safeties, but in situations like that or looks like that, they're going to have to start to go to those outside receivers who have to win against the corners of Pitt. Georgia Tech's going to be content to take this one into
Bobby Dodd Stadium, Grant Field, Midtown Atlanta on the first Saturday in October, and Jeff Sims and Georgia Tech trailing 2 scores. And now Jordan Mason in the backfield. This is 3rd and 20 as we start quarter 2. Sims on the quick throw, and catch made by Malachi Carter on the far sideline. He promptly knocked out of bounds by A.J. Woods.
You know, that's a 3rd and 20 play that doesn't end up in a first down, but I actually think it's a good sign for Jeff Sims and Georgia Tech. He had pressure right in his face. Pitt decided to heat up the pocket on that one. Delivers an accurate ball. Jeff Sims' confidence in this game is going to be paramount. If they can avoid the negative plays, this offense has had a pretty good plan so far today.
Back-to-back 3-and-outs for the Panther defense. Shanahan to punt it. Barden will signal for and make the fair catch inside the 30 at the 28. Well, Jordan Addison's off doing Jordan Addison things, Roddy, and it was really capped by the 2 plays in the last drive for sure, but he's been that way seemingly most of the day.
Yeah, he has. But that last drive, you get the deep pass down the field, able to catch it over Wesley Walker in front of Derek Allen, and then, all right, Georgia Tech says he's in the slot. Let's put a nickel on him. Well, Miles Brooks, welcome to Jordan Addison's highlight reel. He and Kenny Pickett together have been excellent so far in this game.
Pitt off its 28. Rodney Hammond, the freshman, in the ball game. And here's Shockey Jock Louis coming around on the sweep. And he got dusted after 2 yards. Man, look at the numbers coming in. First in TDs, 6th in yardage, tied for 14th in receptions because he's averaging almost 18 yards a catch.
Yeah, well, that dude, 92 yards on the day on 5 catches. That was all in the first quarter.
Here's the freshman Hammond. And he'll push it to about the 35. It'll leave Pittsburgh with 3rd and 3. For Rodney Hammond, number 9, who you're looking at on the screen, to come in here out of the Tidewater area in Virginia in the 757 and arrive in June, not one of those early enrollee guys, and get in the mix with Abanikanda and Vince Davis, says something about where Rodney Hammond's going, doesn't it?
Yeah, and the upside that they think, that the coaches think they have, that he has. All right, number 3 is on the hash to the top of the screen. He's got a safety lined up over him. Looks like Kenny Pickett's going to have a little pressure coming.
Here's Pickett looking again. He's going to fire it towards Jacques Louis. It's offline. Did Shockey slip as he went to the cut over there at the 50-yard line?
Seen a number of players slip today on this turf, but it's a nice job by Trey Swilling of knowing the situation, reading the route. He had Shockey Jock Louis in phase right where he wanted him. Knew that Jock Louis couldn't beat him deep, so when Jock Louis comes back, he's right on it. Kenny Pickett just a little bit off the mark.
Kirk Christodoulou to punt it away now. Azunde Ray deep for Georgia Tech. Adomitis' snap is perfect, and the punt will be fair caught on a knee at the 22.
Well, Wes, we've got some fired up Pitt players. This game was an emotional one last year.
Gone second period. Jeff Sims and the Georgia Tech offense back out here for possession number 6 off its 23 when play resumes. Roddy, despite the interceptions, you kind of like the way the game plan for Dave Patino's been put in play. Obviously, they get the touchdown in possession 3. The last 2 may be a bit of a concern.
Well, I thought the first 3 drives, the plan was excellent. The execution obviously didn't go Georgia Tech's way, but those interceptions, a little hard luck.
Gibbs tried to hit the cutback, and he got wrapped up pretty quick. Pitt collapses. Wendell Davis is a guy who you can't sort out. The thing that I think makes Pitt interesting on defense is the depth, Roddy, really in the front 7.
Yeah, the defensive tackles go 6 deep, linebackers 6 or 7 deep.
And we have a timeout taken here by Pittsburgh. We'll step aside with them here. 2nd and 10 coming up. Pat Narduzzi. Visit cancerbikeride.org to find out more about how to participate and donate. What an effort that is.
Absolutely.
2-touchdown game. Georgia Tech out of a Pittsburgh timeout. 2nd in the full 10. Sims, the long throw. And the catch is made. Adonicus Sanders holding on for his first grab to the 31. It'll be 3rd and short here.
It's a good call, good execution. Dave Patino talked to us about how he feels like that 2nd down call is the most important. Sets up a 3rd and short. Georgia Tech going with tempo.
Yep. There the Jacket's going to hand to Jahmyr Gibbs, and he got spun around. First guy to hit him was Davis, and then he got polished off behind that by John Morgan in the end.
And that tempo makes him a little simple. Watch Wendell Davis right in the middle, sneaks past the block. Number 54, it looked like Jordan Williams is able to wrangle Jahmyr Gibbs in the backfield. This Georgia Tech offensive line is improved this season, but there's been a bit of miscommunication today. Pitt's had some free runners into the backfield.
3 straight 3-and-outs for the Yellow Jackets. Roddy feels like a really big possession coming up here for Pittsburgh. The punt almost blocked. And that'll be a penalty on the Jackets, even though Pitt recovered it. Georgia Tech crashed in. It was Bruce Jordan Swilling who crashed into the
number 29 kicking team. 15-yard penalty. First down.
Yep. So that'll take it out toward the 44-yard line, and that's where Kenny Pickett and the Panthers will get to crank it up.
Well, Wes, tonight at 10:30 Eastern or sometime around then, the Huddle Quartet of Jordan Cornette, Eric McLean, EJ Manuel, and Mark Rick will be back with complete breakdowns of all 6 ACC games today.
Yeah.
The Huddle right here on ACCN and the ESPN app. Remember, Wes, one app.
One tap.
One tap.
That's Huddle late night, isn't it?
Late,
Huddle after dark.
After dark.
Huddle after dark.
Maybe they'll be able to figure out the Coastal Division after dark.
No. I saw they had a wheel on the Huddle today. Here's a long throw. Pickett and Addison couldn't hang on. The sliding catch at the 38. You don't see many wide open throws that don't connect between 8 and 3.
Yeah, just a little bit underthrown. Jordan Addison's got to slide down, can't quite wrangle it, and he is, in fact, not Superman, Wes. He's just a man like the rest of us.
Yeah. Pistol set here. Vincent Davis in the barrel with Pickett. Pickett wants to throw it again. This time, Taysir Mackey caught, and he will score. Over the top of Carpenter.
Georgia Tech had a lot of bodies devoted towards the line of scrimmage. Looked like they expected run on that one. And again, the story of the game has been these receivers on safeties. Taysir Mack gets to safety level against Georgia Tech. Nobody picks him up. Easy pitch and catch for Kenny Pickett. That's one he's not going to miss.
Kenny Pickett now 19 passes in his career over 50 yards. Scarton to make it a 3-touchdown difference.
It's a fantastic throw by Kenny Pickett. Taysir Mack's wide open, but you know, sometimes these layup throws are the hardest to get.
Taysir Mack on a 55-yard touchdown catch to make it a 3-score game here with just better than 11 minutes to play in this first half in Atlanta. Sauls is going to hang this up. Here is Gibbs on the return. Jahmyr Gibbs, 30 and tripped up.
Gibbs returns the kickoff.
Jackets with a nice return. Brandon George saved the touchdown.
Let's go back to the touchdown. Watch the safety to the bottom, Tariq Carpenter. As the ball is snapped, his eyes are in the backfield. Now look, as Taysir Mack's about to run by him, those eyes still looking in the backfield. Doesn't see Mack coming full speed. Taysir Mack runs right by him. Kenny Pickett with an easy delivery over the top. Ends up in a Pittsburgh touchdown. We talk about eye discipline all the time. That play action in the backfield. Tight end coming right at you. Forces the safety's eyes down. Doesn't see the guy coming from outside and ends up in a score.
Sims from the Jacket 34, and the catch is Carter right in front of the Georgia Tech bench. It'll be a first down to the 48. Nice throw ahead of the tackle from Damari Mathis on Malachi Carter. He had the great touchdown catch last Saturday night from Sims at Mercedes-Benz against Carolina. Dante Smith stays in the backfield with Sims. Georgia Tech going to dive into a little tempo here. Smith trying to find an alley and pulled down. That'll be a flag on Baldonado for the horse collar.
Horse collar tackle. Number 87, defense. 15-yard penalty and an automatic. First down.
That'll push it somewhere in the neighborhood of Georgia Tech, or the Pittsburgh 30-yard line here.
Yeah, anytime you grab the back of the jersey like that and pull him down, getting that horse collar tackle. Georgia Tech with a little momentum.
Nate McCollum and Malachi Carter here to the bottom of the screen. Here's Sims. Called run to the far side. Trying to find an alley and does before, boy, Campbell took him on a ride, and then Devonshire, the Kentucky transfer, was also involved in it. 15-yard play.
Watch 80 on the edge. That's Dylan Leonard doing a nice job of Haba Baldonado not holding. You get Dante Smith out front as well. Another one of those design runs that Jeff Sims has success on.
Here's a throw and a catch for Carter, and he'll fight inside the 10 against Petrishen and Devonshire. And it'll be second down and about 4 coming up.
Wholesale line change for Pitt. Carter's a little shaken up, getting up.
So here is the give, and Dante Smith fights inside the 5. First and goal coming up. Tackle made by Servasi Dennis and John Petrishen.
Tempo helping out Georgia Tech, trying to make Pitt simple.
Yep. Sims will take the snap off the clap. Here's Dante Smith, touchdown. Nice answer after 3 3-and-outs, Roddy, for Georgia Tech offensively.
You take advantage of the penalty, getting that extra 15 yards. Jeff Sims with a nice drive, a 24-yard run. Dante Smith finishing the drive in the end zone. This Georgia Tech, when it gets rolling, it is good. The consistency is what they need to see. But right there, Tech able to put the ball in the end zone.
So now Samaglia, the Tennessee transfer, for the point. And again, the deficit cut in half.
This offensive line has given up some penetration, but Dante Smith on that one, they do a nice job. He gets the contact, keeps the legs driving, and drives into the end zone. This Georgia Tech offense not going away quietly. Smith excited as he gets into the end zone. And Wes, we talk so much about this Georgia Tech defense coming into this game as the offense is trying to find its footing. It's had some success in spots, but this Georgia Tech defense, they're going to have to figure something out against Pitt on offense. They found a really good rhythm. Kenny Pickett's done a really nice job.
Well, Jeff Collins now back to within 2 scores again, thanks in part to Dante Smith. Look, Dave Patino deserves a lot of credit. We talk about Sims and Yates in the quarterback situation. How good a job does he do getting Gibbs, Dante Smith, and Jordan Mason kind of in the balance and mix here? And of course, I'm not going to squeeze out your old teammate Tashard Choice in that.
Yeah, one of the best running back coaches in the country. Deuce.
Yeah, no question. No return on the kick. So Panthers from their 22, Larisha.
Well, I heard a couple of the Georgia Tech guys getting ready to go on the field rather, and they were just reminding each other to be sound and to remember to communicate amongst one another. Like you said, Roddy, we saw them sort of not really find their flow, but they reminded each other that we got this. We got to wake up, keep the energy going, but we must communicate.
You see the numbers so far. Only 14 points given up against Clemson, 22 against UNC. My Georgia Tech math tells me 36 total, now 28 here today.
Throw in the flat. Abanikanda breaks through 1 tackle. So Georgia Tech trying to corral Abanikanda. And it looked like Tariq Carpenter might have been shaken up on the tackle as we go under 9 minutes. That's Addison in motion. Here's Pickett. Cuts it loose, looking for Addison. What a catch!
My goodness.
At the 43 on his wallet. 25-yard throw.
It's almost like a video game at this point. Like, throw it up to 3, and it doesn't matter what happens. Even the glitch of him slipping doesn't stop him from making this catch. He's on the wheel. Kenny Pickett sees him. He's trying to go back shoulder. Jordan Addison slips as he's trying to come back to the ball. Doesn't matter. 3 still comes down with the football.
Yep. And a first down play.
Abanikanda carries the football.
Abanikanda rolls off 5 yards. Quez Jackson, Charlie Thomas there. Addison's over 100 yards on 6 catches, by the way. And Quez Jackson shaken up. Timeout in Atlanta. After Jordan Addison caught one on his backside. And then Abanikanda ran for 5 on first down. Here's Pickett looking to throw again. Another launch, this time Mack overthrown. Tobias Oliver again in coverage.
Taysier Mack out him on the double move. We got to go back to this catch. Jordan Addison slips down and absolutely a catch, not even close to the ground. And look, I know Mark Packer is watching this game right now. WRU, Mark. Write it down, Pack.
Hey,
get it there on Monday.
Wait a second. The game the other night, you had this week's winner of WRU.
Yeah, that's true. Good point. Contavian Wicks.
Yeah. Play goes straight ahead with Abanikanda. He's going to be short, and it's going to be 4th down. And what's Pat Narduzzi thinking under 8? Yeah, stay in the huddle. Let's see, right?
I like that he's leaving his offense on. At least you try and draw him off. I would go for it. Jordan Addison has been fantastic. He's going to be to the top of the screen, singled up one-on-one.
Pitt's 5 of 8 on the year on 4th down, and now they took a timeout. By the way, it looked like Addison was going to be one-on-one with the Michigan transfer, Miles Sims, across the way. All right, so with a timeout here and a break, how about, Roddy, we card out this week's Aflac trivia question. Well done. All right, here we go. Jordan Addison's 60 receptions were 3rd most by a Pitt freshman. Name the 2 players with more.
Oh, man. I got to go Larry Fitzgerald for one of them.
Okay, Larry Fitzgerald, 1.
I've done my part. You know, you got to come up with 1.
I'm going to go old school on you. My favorite Pitt Panther of all time.
Okay.
Julius Dawkins.
Love it. All right.
I'm going to go, you say Larry Fitzgerald, I'm going old school Julius Dawkins, who played in an era with Marino when they threw it around a lot.
Okay.
Tricano before Marino, that era.
Love
a lot of Pitt fans
you
just
know,
went,
honestly,
wait, Wes Durham just said Julius Dawkins?
Because there's 2 of us, I'm going to go another. I'm going to say Larry Fitzgerald, Tyler Boyd being the other.
Ooh, Tyler Boyd. Devin Street. Here's 4th down out of the timeout now.
Addison in the slot to the top, just motioned out of the backfield.
Here's Pickett looking left for Mack. Come back, caught it. 1st down at the 17. Right in front of Trey Swilling goes Taysier Mack. 20-yard throw.
60-year player, and the coaches raved about his camp, his consistency this season. Kenny Pickett goes back shoulder on 4th down. He's able to create separation from Trey Swilling. Great delivery, an excellent conversion.
Pickett looking again near side. Mack the catch, and he will fight inside the 10 against the play of Jalen King. Young redshirt sophomore from Laverne, Tennessee.
Jordan Addison gets so much attention. Lucas Kroll, when you line them up to the same side, it creates such a big imbalance for the defense that Taysier Mack's getting a lot of one-on-one coverage.
Here's Abanikanda right side for a couple of yards. That'll be close to another 1st down, and I think it will be inside the 7. Roddy, the pressure that Jordan Addison is putting on Georgia Tech's defense, it looked like that time he went to the field side, and there were 4 guys over there.
Well, you've got to dictate if you're the defense, whether you're going to double Addison or go one-on-one to the backside.
Abanikanda scores standing. And Pittsburgh has 34 points with 6 minutes to go.
It's a Pitt offensive explosion. This offense putting in 4 touchdowns, the 5th coming via a pick 6. Israel Abanikanda with his 2nd on the day. Jordan Addison's been fantastic. Taysier Mack making big plays. And Kenny Pickett, the conductor of it all.
Abanikanda makes that look easy. 9 plays, 75 yards, and 3:08. Time of the drive.
Take a look at the blocking on that right side of the Pitt defense. Lucas Kroll with his arm around the shoulder pad of Charlie Thomas. I think it's a good no call personally on the hold. And then Israel Abanikanda, like, hey, you know, a little MJ shrug. Not sure it was, you know, MJ level, but a little shrug in the end zone. Hey, 2 of them. This Pitt offense has been on fire, though.
Boy, it sure has.
You know, we talked a lot coming into the year, trying to figure out where these teams were going to be, who these teams were going to be. And the thing about Pitt that we knew was this offense was going to be really good. Jordan Addison was going to be really good.
Andre Powell, Pat Narduzzi talking things over as Pitt's getting ready to kick it away. You know, the bell cow game for them was winning in Knoxville. Then they gave it back against Western Michigan. But here's the thing I liked about the conversation this week with Coach Narduzzi and his coordinators. They owned the fact they gave it back against Western Michigan.
Yeah.
Here's Gibbs. He'll let it hit. Georgia Tech will start from its 25. All right, here's the Aflac trivia question. It's Jordan Addison based because last year he was freshman All-America, one of the best players in the ACC as a rookie. And, of course, his 60 catches were the 3rd most by a Pitt freshman. Name the 2 players with more. Now, Roddy said Larry Fitzgerald. I said Julius Dawkins. And then we threw Tyler Boyd in there, and I threw Devin Street in.
Let's go. Let's go. That's 2 in a row that I've gotten, Wes.
Yeah, you got Macho Harris last week, which was impressive.
Yeah. I bailed on your Devin Street when I realized that that Tyler Boyd, I remember Tyler Boyd had a big freshman year.
Yeah, he sure did. And Gibbs got swarmed by a combination of guys. Dennis Campbell leading the charge for the yellow-helmeted Panthers.
You know, the thing that Georgia Tech has to resist doing is becoming predictable on first down, letting Pitt pin their ears back and come after them running the football. You're going to have to take some first down shots against these corners and try and hit some plays down the field.
So here is Sims on 2nd and long. Got a little late draw to Gibbs, and Pittsburgh stays home. Keyshawn Camp had a crack at him, and then finally Pittsburgh was able to make the play in the secondary with Damari Mathis.
You can see the talent, the burst, the ability from Jahmyr Gibbs, but not a lot of space against this Pitt defense. In this 3rd and long situation, it's not where Georgia Tech wants to live. Find them to the top of the screen. You've got one-on-one coverage. At least that's what it looks like you're going to get.
6 carries, -4 yards for Jahmyr Gibbs. Here's Sims. He's going to take the shot downfield, and there'll be a flag thrown on the play.
Honestly, I'm not sure this is not on the offense, Wes.
Kalani Norris, the intended receiver, with Damari Mathis in coverage, and it's going to be on Mathis.
Pass interference, number 21, defense, 15-yard penalty, and an automatic. First down.
So the reason I said it, watch it down the field. Norris is the one that looks like he's pulling down Damari Mathis, but obviously Mathis grabbing the arm.
Right.
Initially, I thought Norris kind of got some of that shoulder pad of Mathis pulling him down. Looked like Mathis actually falling down, pulls down Norris. So a good call by the officials.
Sims after the penalty, 1st and 10, 38 for Georgia Tech, and a called run for the quarterback. And he'll get a yard before Keyshawn Camp, 290-pounder out of Lakeland, Florida, in his 6th year with Pittsburgh, makes the play.
These Pitt defenders have been coming right downhill in the first down play, getting outside, making them run east-west. It's a nice call by Dave Patnode. Keyshawn Camp, though, big defensive tackle getting out there in the alley.
Yep.
So those Pitt linebackers, I mean, they are itching to go towards the line of scrimmage.
Sims hit as he throws, and it's a flare that's incomplete over the top of McCollum.
Sims pass incomplete.
Boy, he had to get rid of it because Kalijah Cansey was prowling.
Just watch the linebackers. Like, they're falling on their face. They're so excited about coming up the middle. You get a cross-dog blitz up the middle. Kalijah Cansey ends up coming free, and Jeff Sims has the throw. He just doesn't have time to make it.
Jackets are 0 for 3 on 3rd down.
Look, this offense was improved, and this offensive line is improved, but you got to protect your quarterback, and they've had issues with that the past 2 weeks.
Here is Sims again. Baldonado had a shot. Sims going to tuck and run. He will slide down, but he's short.
Sims on the quarterback keeper.
Short of the first down. And the quarterback's shaken up on the play here.
How long of our conversation did we spend yesterday talking about Jeff Sims sliding? And his concern that, hey, you know, in the NFL, when these quarterbacks slide, you just tap them. But in college, you slide late and it kind of gets those guys caught in between.
There's no targeting, Roddy.
No, certainly not targeting.
The angle of the slide and the tackle collision appears to have shaken up the sophomore. Cam Bright was involved in that.
And that is the thing in college. These guys are going for the first down marker, and they play hard, as you see Jordan Yates getting warm. But that's a pretty late slide for a quarterback, with guys barreling down. In the league, what you see those quarterbacks doing, as soon as there's a sniff of color, they're going down.
Right.
They're not even taking the chance. But Jeff Sims kind of got caught in between. Is he going to try and go all out for the first down? Is he going to slide? Slides late. You get those contact of those guys landing on you. And he ends up getting a little shaken up. It's fourth down, though, so with a backup quarterback, do you end up going for it? It looks like they're leaving the offense on the field. This could be a huge call for Georgia Tech, because Pitt's offense has been rolling.
JP Mason is going to be the back with Yates. But here's the thing, Roddy, it's not your normal backup now.
No. Guy that started the last 3 games for him. But do you throw the ball with him cold? I think I might go quarterback run with Mason leading.
Yates going to hand to Mason, and they're not going to get it. Pitt was right there defensively. Baldonado was the first guy to the fray.
I've got a little bit of an issue with that call on fourth down. You bring your backup quarterback in. What's everybody in the world thinking? He's going to hand it off to the running back. The Pitt defensive line and linebackers have been playing downhill all game long. Got to do something to help that offense. If you're going to go for it, you got to have a good play call here with the backup quarterback. A little inside zone play to Jordan Mason. That really hasn't worked all day. They go with it and they don't get it. See Jeff Collins here in the foreground, Dave Patnode in the background. The decision to go for it on fourth down with the way Pitt's been playing on offense, I don't have an issue with. The play calling has to be better in that situation, in my opinion.
Vincent Davis is the back, as a running back. Here's Pickett now, eluding some pressure again. Kenny can run with it if he wants now. Hesitates, throws, and crawl. Wide open for Pittsburgh to the 15. Little Kenny Pickett at the improv right here.
It's what they talked about, getting Kenny Pickett down on the ground. He's able to get around the blitz of Charlie Thomas, and he's so far back that he approaches the line of scrimmage. Lucas Krull sitting there wide open. Nice job by the Pitt offensive line of not getting caught downfield. Pitt's got a shot to break this thing wide open in the first half.
Boy, they sure do. Off the 16, Pickett backing up, steps up, bullet to the end zone. Krull, the touchdown.
This Pitt offense is humming. 5 touchdowns now in the first half. Kenny Pickett, 3 touchdown passes. The other touchdown, the defensive pick 6, but the Georgia Tech has really had no answers for the Pitt passing game. We knew it would be good coming into this year. This is what we expected from Kenny Pickett with all those weapons, an experienced offensive line, and a great tight end.
Scarton for the point, and it is 42-14.
Going back, just look at the time Kenny Pickett has. He's hanging out, looks to his left, looks to his right, gives his tight end a chance to get open, and then the throw. I mean, you can't throw that ball any better to the back of the end zone. Wesley Walker's trailing. All Lucas Krull has to do is stick his hands out. Just look at this. Just hanging out in the backfield. Lucas Krull, you gonna come open? Yeah, let's go. Kenny Pickett delivers. Just a walk in the park, man. Hey,
wow.
That's what I do.
You know what?
That's what I do.
26-14 as a starter, taking the field today for the 41st time in his Pittsburgh career. And Roddy, he's now thrown 14 touchdown passes in the last 3 games. It's the most in a 3-game stretch in Pitt history. Dan Marino did it in 1981 against Illinois, Cincinnati, and South Carolina.
Huh. Anytime your name is mentioned in the same breath as Dan Marino.
Well, let me offer this to you. His name's being mentioned now, passing Dan Marino.
Yeah.
And here's the kick from Sauls. Gibbs will not return. Georgia Tech will start from his 25. Kenny Pickett's got a 300-yard first half.
Oh, 17 for 25. 300. 3 tutties. That's a performance. And, you know, I think Georgia Tech kind of had to go for it on 4th down there. The way the defense has been playing, whether that was a 50-yard drive or a 500-yard drive, it felt kind of inevitable that the way Pitt's been throwing the ball, that they were going to be able to get down the field. But Georgia Tech gets the ball first in the second half. This is a big drive. You have an opportunity with a touchdown here, touchdown in the second half, to get it to a 2-score game at least.
Yep. Here is Sims backing up, loops it for Gibbs. A lot of room on the left, got by Petrishen. Breaks free, Jahmyr Gibbs at the 40, 30. The cutback here to the near side. Gibbs at the 10, the 5, and tackled at the 3. Brandon Hill finally gets down the explosive freshman Jahmyr Gibbs.
This is the play call we've been waiting on 1st down. Pitt's been playing so downhill. Take advantage of that aggressiveness. The 2 Pitt linebackers blitz, you dump it out to Jahmyr Gibbs, and I'm not sure there's anybody in the league that's more dangerous with that much space than #1 for the Jackets.
71-yard play, sets them up 1st and goal. Sims, and this is McCollum, and wrapped up by Chase Pine, the linebacker from Williamsburg, Virginia, making the play for Pittsburgh.
Jahmyr Gibbs in the open field, the speed, the vision, the elusiveness. And then watch at the end. I mean, he's tough to bring down even at the end, the power. You got Keyshawn Camp down on the field for Pitt, but that's the type of play call that you need on 1st down to beat Pitt. It's going to be shots down the field, screens, stuff to take advantage of their aggressiveness. They're so disciplined and so aggressive on those blitz on early downs to stop the run.
Well, they tend to Keyshawn Camp, and it looks like it might be a cramp here as we've hit a pretty hot day in Midtown Atlanta.
Very humid.
Yep.
Very humid.
42-14, so while they tend to Camp, a quick reminder to you, this is game 1 of our ACC Network triple header of football here this afternoon. Coming up next, Syracuse and Florida State. Sean Tucker has accounted for 45% of all the Orange scrimmage yards so far in this season. And they'll meet Florida State looking for their first win at 3:30. And then tonight in primetime, of course, you get number 25 Clemson and Boston College.
In that Syracuse-Florida State game, if there are 20 throws between the 2 teams, they're doing it wrong. Just letting you know. Maybe I'll give you 30 throws between the 2 teams.
Camp is going to be able to get off the field. I want to ask you a quick question about that game, though. You believed, since we saw Florida State in week 2, they are a better running team than they get credit for.
Ja'Shawn Corbin's leading the conference in yards per carry. Treshawn Ward is top 10 in the conference in yards per carry. They've got 2 excellent backs. That offensive line, the best thing they do is run block. And that's why I say, like, Florida State should keep it on the ground. Run the ball all the time. Syracuse has done that with both Sean Tucker and Garrett Schrader.
Georgia Tech trying to punch in a score here with 2.5 to go. Clock starts. And here is the play. Sims to his left and eludes one. Now going to counter back, looking for some help. And whoa, took a big lick from Mathis as he got to the 1. And there is a Panther down on the play. Is that Dennis? Servassier Dennis shaken up.
It's grabbing the back of that leg.
It sure is.
Hamstring. But how about this for Jeff Sims? And that's one of those moments where you are holding your breath as a Georgia Tech fan, and then you think maybe you can get in the end zone. See Servassier Dennis coming from inside out, being able to make the tackle.
Looks like ball. It's I'm not sure Dennis has not caught a cramp.
He's grabbing the back of that hamstring. You hope it's a cramp and not, you know, full on pull.
Yep. So Servassier Dennis will come off the field, and with 2:03 to go and 3rd and 1. 3rd and goal for Georgia Tech.
That went from looking like it was going to be 3rd and about 14, 3rd and goal from the 14 to 3rd and goal on the 1. The athleticism of Jeff Sims, and this is obviously 4-down territory. would be a little surprised if you didn't see 2 runs here.
Gonna go pistol at least, Roddy.
At least a run on first down. Try and get the big Jordan Mason in the end zone.
Yep. The 220-pound junior. And is Jeff Collins going to burn one of his timeouts here? He is. So he'll have 1 to go in the final 2 minutes. Pat Narduzzi has 1 to go. So it'll be 3rd and goal.
Wes, Jeff Sims went out of bounds on that one. I didn't quite see whether he went out of bounds at 2 minutes or at 2:01. Because at 2:01, the clock starts running again. And if you were going to take a timeout for Georgia Tech, you'd like to at least drain the clock a little bit here on the 1. Because, I mean, Pitt's going to have plenty of time to try and go down and score again.
Yeah, the Panthers have put together some quick touchdown drives. They've had one of 33 seconds and another one of 38 seconds in this first half. So here's Sims again in the pistol. That's Carter in motion. And we got movement all over the place on Georgia Tech. Looked like the tight end Dylan Leonard was going to leap here to the boundary.
Offense, 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
Nick Penley, the transfer from Mississippi State, the guilty party first.
You get a chance to talk about the play. You come out, you talk about the snap count, and then you get a false start. It's just, you're already down by 4 touchdowns. You can't have that if you're Georgia Tech. Once again, this is 4-down territory without a doubt, or a 4-down situation without a doubt, but brutal penalty.
Carter to the bottom of the screen. Bunch look to the top, and now Pat Narduzzi wants a timeout.
Why not?
So Pittsburgh's out of timeouts. So while we get a break, let's go back to the top of the show, Roddy, because after your game Thursday night in Coral Gables and Georgia Tech's win over Carolina, I'd like to welcome you to Shocker, a wide open Coastal.
Duke's losing to North Carolina right now. Pitt has not yet jumped into the fray and are jumping in with a splash.
Right. And I would say, too, Syracuse, BC, Duke, Pitt all start their conference slate after Miami began theirs the other night. I mean, you're playing in week 5 in the league for the first time. Some of the road's already been paid for you.
Yeah, and Louisville's beating Wake right now. So Louisville's starting to play well. Syracuse playing well. Duke had played well up to this point. Obviously, we haven't seen that game, but at North Carolina, home North Carolina, though, is a top 15 team. Well,
right.
Away North Carolina is probably a bottom 15 team.
Ball at the 7 after the penalty. Sims to throw, looking for Gibbs, and Mathis tattooed him, and here comes a flag.
Look, there's nothing wrong with that hit back in the day, but in this day and age, that is targeting.
Stuart Mullins will tell us what they have on the field.
Personal foul, targeting. Number 24, defense. The play is under further review.
It's 21 Mathis, not 24 Campbell.
So the thing that you're looking for, this is obviously a defenseless receiver. Forcible contact to the head or neck area of a defenseless receiver is targeting. That one kind of hits him in the chest. Honestly, upon first look, I did not think this was targeting. I don't think there is a launch. I think he's running through him with his shoulder. It hits him in the chest. I'm going back on this. That is not targeting.
Right.
It's a good job by Damari Mathis, getting his head out. He doesn't lead with the crown. He hits him in the middle of the chest, and of course, when you hit him in the chest, it's going to look like that neck area. But he doesn't. Again, there's no indicator there. No launch. No lowering of the head. He doesn't attack. I think that's a good football play.
Okay. And you got the vibe on this as well as anybody I work with on what you see and its parameters in relationship to the rule. And that's what is the key, is tying what the play is with the parameters, right?
Yeah, and the things that you're looking for, there's two different types. Defenseless player or not defenseless player. This is clearly the defenseless player. Forcible contact to the head or neck area of a defenseless player is targeting. And again, watch where this hit comes. It's in the chest, Gibbs is coming down, Mathis is coming straight, so it's gonna look high. The thing that you're also looking for is an attack of some sort. and I don't think you get an attack. He doesn't lead with the forearm. He doesn't lower the head. He doesn't come from a crouch and launch. So while that is, it looks like targeting real speed, you go back and review it, and all elements of targeting have to be confirmed for it to be targeting. I don't think you're going to get that here.
Stuart Mullins, the referee. Mark McEnany is the replay official here in Atlanta today. And another look at the hit on Jahmyr Gibbs by Damari Mathis at full speed. It leads you to believe it might be. You see why the flag was thrown. You see all those things. But when you slow it down, take a look at it, and that's the benefit of technology.
No, we are all sort of jaded by what's gone on this year. There's been a lot of discussion around targeting.
Right.
I think it's important to accentuate the fact or bring up the fact that it is a judgment call to some extent. What is an attack? What is a launch? What I dictate is a launch or an attack, you may not. Forcible contact leaves some questions on what that is. Looks like we're going to get the decision now from Stuart Mullins.
After further review, there is no foul for targeting. 4th down.
And Roddy, as you pointed out, easy to see why once you slow it down.
Right. Gibbs is coming down. Mathis coming straight. Shoulder to the chest. The head snaps back, so it looks like it is. But upon review, there's no attack by Damari Mathis. He's running through the player, shoulder in the chest. And as the player comes down, it's going to look high, but Georgia Tech decided to go for it. Now that sets up 4th down. Georgia Tech going for it.
Yep. Off the 4-yard line for Sims in the Jackets. Looking to throw. Incomplete. Tried to go inside on a route from McCollum. And it looked like Cam Bright, the linebacker, who's already got an interception, broke it up.
Nate McCollum slipped when he's coming back in. He's trying to run a little out and in route, a little angle route where he goes out and then comes back in. Yeah, he's pushing towards the flat and comes back in. A little flat return and slips coming out of the break. Cam Bright breaks on it and he was able to knock the ball down. It's a good job by Pitt's defense. 2 straight plays where they tried to use some motion to get Gibbs out of the backfield, and then McCollum not able to come up with it.
And look at Vincent Davis spin away at the 10. Ely wraps him up at the 11. He'll fall forward to the 12. It's a gain of 8. Pittsburgh is out of timeouts. And Kenny Pickett's, they got a little steam in the engine here, Roddy.
Yeah, they do. I think they, you may run a safe play. You get a chunk here. You push this thing into overdrive.
There goes Davis again, trying to find a crack in the wall at the right. He'll get enough for the 1st down to the 16. Remember now, Kenny Pickett is operating on a 300-yard first half on 17 of 25. His 11th career 300-yard game. And now looking to throw on 1st down.
Oh, he's got him wide open in the middle. He had Jordan Addison.
He'll throw it up the sideline, and it's caught. Shockey Jock Louis shoved out of bounds at the 45.
This last play, Wes, is one that Kenny Pickett usually sees. Jordan Addison was wide open down the middle of the field. Split the safeties. He's hanging out all by himself. Thought he was going to cut the ball loose, but he decides to go out to the edge. Oh, there's a flag down on the opposite side.
Oh no, Stuart Mullins.
Out of bounds, and it was the first to touch the ball inbounds. That's illegal touching. The penalty is lost it down at the previous spot. 2nd down.
Let's take a look at this. Shockey Jock Louis down the sideline. Oh yeah, steps out of bounds.
Okay.
You do that and your Madden awareness rating goes down a little bit. It does.
Okay.
I think Pitt's going to take a knee now, but
yeah.
Come on, you got to see the big bright white stuff down below your feet.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of a guy who used to tiptoe the sideline.
Well, watch this. Jordan Addison is going to come from the top of the screen, wide open down the middle of the field, expecting the football. There's nobody. I mean, that's a touchdown if Kenny sees it. Pressure forces him out, doesn't see it. Georgia Tech dodges a bullet.
49 seconds left, and Vincent Davis will run to the right side again. And Kyle Kennard, a true freshman for Jeff Collins, wrapped him up. There you see the two scoops behind us. Sean Tucker in the orange in Tallahassee, and DJ Uiagalelei and the Tigers after the double overtime loss in Raleigh last week. Welcome Boston College and its homecoming.
Clemson's going to have to come out and play well offensively. I think